Hey there, everybody. Welcome back. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another episode of Ranking the Albums in the Co-Captain's Chair. As promised, once again, Mr. Jason Morris. What's going on, my friend?
Great show with the Circus Maximus. Let's head on to Pagan's Mind.
That's right. We're staying in Norway for another cool progressive metal band. Also, you can call them a power metal band. I think these guys are one of the few that really know how to combine the two forms of metal, prog metal and power metal, because there's just enough complexity and progressive elements, but at their core, they are a straightforward power metal band. But they're not, you'll never mistake these guys for like Hammerfall or Primal Fear or those type of power metal bands. They're definitely a little more sophisticated, definitely have an amazing singer. Not that those other bands don't, but this band truly special. Great album covers, and 5 albums in total. But they have not released anything in 11 years. But apparently they are working on something new, which I think will be really good to hear, because it's been way too long. I mean, sometimes these bands, like, they go away for a couple of years, and a couple of years turns into a decade, and you forget all about them, right? I mean, I haven't listened to these albums before getting ready to do the show in a long time, because you're not regularly engaging with their music because they've been so inactive. But a band that really intrigued me, like in the early 2000s when they first came out, and just every album is really strong. Some more than others, obviously, but we got 5 in total, and I'll have Jason kick us off with his number 5.
Gee, with that intro, you stole all my bits.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Anyways, number 5, actually, this was, for me, it was an okay album, and it's enigmatic. Say that for me.
Enigmatic?
Yeah. Calling. Their last one. Right? Great cover.
Yeah. This is their 3rd album, 2000.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're right. It is their 3rd album.
Yep. Great cover. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look at that artwork. Look at that.
I've got it written down 3rd and 5. So it's their 5th album, but it's the 3rd album, but it's my 5th choice. The first track is okay. Enigmatic Mission is okay. I didn't really like Primacy, the next one. Coming Home was a highlight for me. Taken was my favorite song on the album, on the near the end. Didn't like the Search for Life ballad. The other ones were just okay. I mean, I could play it in the background and be very engaged, because this singer is insane. I love this singer. I mean, when I first, like you said, you already said it in the intro, when I first heard this band, it was something new, and kind of like, when Dream Theater came out, there was something different and new, but this singer was, whoa.
Yeah.
So this guy, he keeps you engaged in this album. This is not one of my favorite albums, and I wouldn't have that in. I'd only have a couple of these songs in a playlist, so the rest of the songs wouldn't be. I had to review this one, but that's my number 5.
Cool. Yeah, more on that later. I have a feeling our lists are going to be completely different, because we like different styles of metal so differently. So, and that's totally cool. Yeah, and this singer's name is Nils Rue, R-U-E. He's fantastic. He's got this kind of Jeff Tate thing going on, but man, he's so melodic. I mean, yeah, we'll talk about him quite a bit on this episode.
Have you ever seen these guys live?
No.
I wonder what he sounds like live.
I can only imagine. Haven't they played didn't they play a Prog Power one year, I think?
Oh God.
When they came over here for Prog Power like years and years ago. I could be wrong, but my number 5 is their most recent album. It's their 5th album from 2011, and their first for Steamhammer Records. Heavenly Ecstasy is the album here. It comes in a digipack. Let me see if I can get a picture of the guys in the band to show everybody. I know there's got to be something here somewhere. Hold on. Oh, there they are right there. I don't know how well you can see them, but yeah, I mean, this is to me, this album is the band moving a little bit away from their prog metal sound into more of like a straight melodic power metal style, which is fine. I mean, that's a great album. You got Eyes of Fire, which is, heavy, but really melodic. You got blazing guitar solos from Jorn Viggo Lofstad, who's now the only guitar player in the band. They used to have two. Intermission is a great song, really memorable. Great vocals from Nils Rue. You got Aftermath, which is punishingly heavy, more straightforward, but still really heavy. Walk Away in Silence is also very straightforward metal, but a really nice hook in that. Revelation to the End is really crushing. Follow Your Way is really melodic, but still really heavy. Never Walk Alone is this big soaring kind of almost like power ballad type of thing. Really strong album. Again, more straightforward. If you like their more technical progressive style, you may like this one the least, which is definitely how I feel about it. But their weakest album is a classic for anybody else. I mean, I think that's going to be my whole driving factor here, is that even there are a couple albums that may not stack up to some of the others, this would be, for anybody else, would be an absolute classic and a gem. For them, for me anyway, it's a really strong album, not quite as strong as the others, but still really, really good.
So if you put another name on that album, you might like it better.
Yeah, I mean, the problem for me is that they've got a couple albums that are just absolutely drop dead killer amazing. So, and that is a really good album. It's a really good album. Like, yeah, if this said like Sanctuary on it, I'd be like, holy cow, that's like the album of the year 2011, right? For me, for Pagan's Mind, it's great. It's not quite as good as some of the other ones, but it's still really, really good.
I agree. So the next four are pretty tight for me, but I'm going with God's Creation as my number 4. You have a
God's Equation, you mean? God's Equation.
Oh, equation. I even wrote it wrong. My God. Great cover. Look at that.
Oh, yeah.
So for this one, look at that. There's the guys.
Yeah.
United Alliance, Adams, Atomic Fireflight. Now that I turn that light off, I can't see. Painted Skies was one of my favorite songs off this album. The one before that, Alien Kamikaze, I didn't like the growling vocals in that. So that, that's my thing. I'm not that's where I come to the end. Like we were just talking before the show started. For me, power metal is where I kind of top off. I don't like the thrash, the growling, and the speed metal. But some speed metal, arranged kind of rocky, if that makes any sense. Do you remember King Cobra?
Yeah.
Band. They had a song called Hunger, and it was very speed metal-y, but it was put together like a rock song. So if anybody knows that band, for me, that's how I like my speed metal. And then I like some of Halloween, right? Because of that singer, both those singers. I know Michael Kiske. I don't know the other guy, but those singers are fantastic. Anyways, back to this. Painted Sky was good, and then the last song was the best song on the album. Osiris.
Osiris Triumphant Return. Yeah, fantastic song.
And that's from one of the, I forget which albums. We're gonna review that soon.
Yeah, it's like a sequel to an earlier song from.
And it is. I listened to that 4 times last night. It was phenomenal. That almost pushed this album higher. That song alone. But in general, top to bottom, really good, except for the growling vocal song. So God's Equation.
Yep.
Is number 4.
Yeah. It's also my number 4. And again, this was released in 2007 overseas and 2008 here on Limb Music. They were on their first 4 albums were on Limb Music, actually. Yeah, I mean, they've kept a pretty consistent lineup other than losing one of the 2 guitar players, after I think the second or third album. Everybody else has been, the same. I think this album is even heavier than the ones that came before. This is probably their heaviest album, I think. And you've got the title track, big riffs, bombastic drums, just enough synths, right? They got a full-time keyboard player, but he's just kind of there to add colors, occasional solos and things like that. Nils Rue, the singer, sounds amazing on this album. You got United Alliance, which is totally memorable, loads of hooks. might be one of their most commercial songs, but it still really rocks. And I think like if anybody is looking to see what Pagan's Mind is all about, go listen to United Alliance. You'll love it's a great anthem, great hooks, just heavy enough. I think it's really good. Atomic Firelight. I think it's the song you were talking about before, where you got Rue doing all these different vocal styles. He's got the clean soaring vocals. He screams a little bit. He growls a little bit, although it's light on the growl, but still, I think a really venomous performance from him on that. You got a interesting cover of the David Bowie song "Hello Space Boy," which was like, I kind of didn't expect that. I remember when this first came out, I was like, oh, that's interesting.
I didn't realize that was the cover. And
yeah, well, it's not one of his more famous songs, right? It's like it's a song he did with Brian Eno, but it's kind of interesting. Evolution Exceed is just furious and heavy. You got Alien Kamikaze, more like a straightforward metal song. Spirit Star Crusher has great hooks, and you mentioned Osiris's Triumphant Return, which is kind of like part 2 of another Osiris song that we're going to talk about in a minute or two. Excellent, almost 9 minutes long. I think it's a really, really good album. Yeah, God's Equation, good stuff.
Good stuff. All right. My number 3, which, man, I really like this album. You already showed it. That was your number 5. And the reason I like this so much is because exactly all the things you said about it. It's a heavy rock album. I mean, it's not so much prog.
Yeah, not at all.
It could be my favorite. And if it was another band, I would be praising it and be looking for that other band, no matter what they called it. Right.
Yep.
I liked, the first song, Eyes of Fire. That's like a top 5 song for me for these guys. World Away to Silence, another top 5 song. I mean, there's so many songs on here that would be in my top 10 that this almost pushed this to the number 1. But it's like you said, you said this isn't really Pagan's Mind, what got us into this band. Great vocals. This is heavy. The only song I didn't really like on this is the Master's Voice. Other than that, top to bottom, it's like I said, I listen to this one a lot, and then they have songs on here that are in my top 5, top 10.
Yeah, yeah, it's a really strong album. All these albums are really strong. It's this ranking could go any way. I mean, I moved a couple of these around a few times, and including this one, which comes in at number 3 for me. For some, it might be their favorite. I don't know. I mean, originally released in 2000, they re-recorded it in 2004 and re-released it, but it's their debut album, Infinity Divine. You know, this is the first one I got. I got this as soon as it came out, and I was like, holy cow, these guys are great. It's a really good album. Yeah, is that so you have the re-recording then, right?
Is that what that is?
Yeah, because your cover looks a little different than mine. I think you do. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. They have a different cover.
Yeah. It's slightly different. It's pretty much the same. Let's see. I'll take it out of here. It's fairly similar, but it's a little different. Yeah.
But back in the day, I would have bought this thinking it was another album. You know how many times we've done that?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Bought the same album with a different cover.
Yeah. And I don't remember what the reason was, you know, why they actually, you know what? I have the 2004 version. You might have the original.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think you have the original.
Great cover though.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, either way you look at it, it's great. It's just tweaked a little bit, but really good. I mean, this is the original lineup. Again, the only really difference in the lineup is that you've got Thorsten Hobby on second guitar. They had 2 guitar players early on, but otherwise they still have the same guys in the band. You know, this album to me, especially like the first 2-3 albums, sound to me like Warning era Queensryche, but on steroids. Because you've got this amazing singer who's got that Jeff Tate thing going on, Niels Rue, and they're doing this kind of like sci-fi cyber metal that's part prog metal, part power metal band with loads of hooks, and it just reminds me of really, really early Queensryche, but like I said, beefed up because the guitars are way heavier. Title track is great on here. You got Embracing Fear, got some killer drumming, really good prog metal track. You got Astral Projection, which is another killer song. Angel Serenity is really heavy. Dawning of the Nemesis is big and moody. You got the crunchy King's Quest. What else we got on here? Twilight's Arise, great power metal track. You got A New Beginning, which sounds to me like Symphony X a little bit. I don't know. I think it's just a crushing debut. Very sophisticated though, and amazing vocals. Just you can't go wrong. Like I said, if you wanted to start here, anybody watching, I'd say, yeah, start with the debut, work your way up. You can't go wrong with any of these albums.
I agree with you totally about the start with that. That's your number 3, and here we go, right back at you. That's my number 2, and I don't know if you, that album cover looks like the movie cover from Dead and Buried.
Yeah, it does. I own
Remember that show?
I like that film. Yeah, it does.
Good show.
Yeah.
You said everything that I would say about this great opening. Caught in a Dream, it's great rocker, Infinity Divine, Astral Projection, Angel Serenity, King's Quest. The only song on this one that didn't really grab me was I think it says Graces. Is that the last one? What's that last?
Yeah, at the Graves, which is the bonus track. Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, but it's definitely more proggy. Yep.
There you go. We run into that. So killer. I mean, if I could make it a tie, it would be between this one and the second album. They're just so good. Right straight through. If you want to start with this album to get into Pagan's Mind, you can't go wrong here.
No, you really can't. You really can't. All right, my number 2, which was your number 5, and the reason why I like this one so much is because this is a really proggy album for them. It's kind of like a concept album. It's Enigmatic Calling, their third album, Limb Music. This is the first album with Jorn Viggo Lofstad as the sole guitar player, and he also produces it. This is incredible. I almost made this my number 1, but I think we both are on the same page with our number 1s for a reason. So this is just soaring progressive power metal throughout the whole album. Big bright melodies, amazing vocals. You got the Celestine Prophecy is just this big, bright, symphonic, heavy, intricate prog metal track. Great vocals. This guy's one of the best singers on the scene that nobody knows about, which is really a shame. You got Enigmatic Mission, plenty heavy, Supremacy of Our Kind, a little more grinding, spooky keyboards, big riffs. Celestial Calling has got loads of riffs, blazing guitar solos, lots of synths. Taken crushes, Resurrection, Back in Time is just a relentless track. This, like I said, this could be my number 1 any day. Long songs, great vocals. To me, it sounds like vintage Queensryche on steroids. And I love it. I just think it's great. And look at that album cover. Can't beat that. Yes, everybody watching, that is a hype sticker that I never took off. I noticed that when I pulled these CDs out, I'm like, oh, I never took that sticker off because I hate these damn hype stickers. Stephen Reed, I can send you this if you want it because I don't want it. But so that's my number 2, Enigmatic Calling from 2005, their third album. And I think we know what both of our number 1s is going to be.
So your description of this band being Queensryche on steroids, totally true. It's the singers are similar with the soaring, majestic type feeling, and they have, the range is insane with both these guys, right? Yeah. But the Pagan's Mind just for me is so much beefier, and I love that. I love the beefy part. Obviously I prefer Queensryche for the rocky part, for being a little more rocky and less proggy, but this is what turned me on to them. Obviously when it came out, it was something so different, similar to a Dream Theater situation. The vocals were so soaring and so whoa,
and he sounds so confident, right? I mean, that's the thing. It's like you listen to this music and he is like, he knows he's the man, right? And he knows that the band is terrific. And he's like, as great as all these guitar riffs and all this other stuff that's happening, you're going to listen to me, buddy. And you can't help but not focus on him because he's so good. So good.
Good point. Yeah. I haven't thought of it that way, but for sure. And then the crown of this album is, how'd you say again? Osiris? Yeah.
Osiris's eyes. Yeah. Through Osiris's eyes. Yeah.
Osiris's eyes. That's probably my favorite song of all of these songs from Pagan's Mind. and which probably pushed this to the top at least today. I can't read that, but Stargate, I think, is the next one. Dimensions of Fire, another favorite top song of mine. Prophecy at Pleads, the last one, Agan's Shares or Shaves or something.
Yeah, Back to the Magic of Childhood, that 2-part epic, just killer.
Yep. Those two. That was too long, so I didn't write them out. But those songs pushed it over the top for me. But like you said, either one could be number one, or that other album. But it's kind of different, you know. The Ecstasy album is just a little different, so that's why I personally went to these two records. No, here we are. So this one, right? Is it this one?
Yeah, it's that one. Yeah, and not a weak moment on this album, I don't think.
That cover, right?
That's amazing. Yeah, I mean, the artwork is great. And you mentioned the song Stargate. So apparently a lot of these albums are heavily influenced by the Stargate TV show and movies and all that kind of stuff. They're really big fans. Great album. You mentioned all the great songs on here. Through Osiris's Eyes is terrific. It's kind of like cyber metal, right? That's why whenever I listen to these guys, I always think of, like, Queensryche's official debut album, not the EP. And it's like that because it's got this whole sci-fi thing going on, but it's heavier. And just great stuff. Dimensions of Fire, Dreamscape Lucidity, Prophecy of Pleiades is amazing. Great.
Yeah, that was it. Pleiades. That was the one.
That's like 10 minutes long. And these guys are not afraid to do long songs. I mean, most of their songs are like, 6, 8, 10, 12 minutes long for the most part. So they're not afraid to do that. Yeah, great band. I mean, as you can tell, Jason and I are gushing all over these guys. We're doing it for a reason because the quality is really good. They've got two live albums, one live album. I forget. They do have at least one live album, which is really.
They have one. I know that.
Yeah. So check that out. I think that's all they've released since the 2011 album. But like I said, everything I've read, they're working on something new. It's been a while. Hopefully we'll see it, before we're all old and gray. We're already old and gray, I guess, but before we leave this world, hopefully we see another Pagan's Mind album. But I guess we will in the not too distant future. So there you go, everybody. So if you're a fan of Pagan's Mind, please rank these 5 as you like them in the comments below. If you've never listened to them, go check out any of these albums. They're all great. Come back and let us know what you think. And before we go, Jason, you want to plug your school? Let people know what you're all about there.
We're at www.realjudo.net. That's the website for the Jason Morris Judo Center, which is basically an Olympic judo training center up in upstate New York, like I was telling you guys. Or I don't know if I said that online or before, but we're near Albany and a little further near Schenectady. And we also have, not that anybody would come from far away, but locally here, we have a pickleball court. And it's, I don't know if you can hear that in the background.
I do. Yeah, I just heard it actually. Yeah.
I was worried. I was like, because this is my little setup for these shows. And the pickleball is right next to me, but down. I'm up. So it's a little bit, little distance, but you can hear the pickleball. And so that's pretty. We're open from 9 to 9, so it goes all day long, and we only have the one court. People love it. It's a pickleball only court. You've probably seen pickleball outside on the tennis courts or in a church or in a gym. It's obviously not as good because you're playing on different surfaces, different lighting. But the people like it here because it's a pickleball only court. So that's what we got going on over here.
We have at the Gold's Gym I belong to, they do once a week, I think on Tuesdays, they close off the basketball court to allow for pickleball. So they bring in the net and, all that kind of stuff. And I tell you, and especially, I'm not that far from being a senior, but the senior citizens who are members of the gym, they sit and play all day. I mean, literally, like they're, you want to go play, you got to wait in line. So I haven't played in a while, but I played quite a few times. And I had never played ever until probably like 2-3 years ago. But I used to play tennis all the time. So
you're a tennis guy.
So but I mean, I played tennis when I was younger. I haven't really played tennis much in like 2 decades. But
Okay.
you know, you remember a lot of the moves, and it's very similar type of play, except you know, you really have to memorize all the boundaries and all that. So the rules of the game are a little bit different, but it's a lot of the same movements, and you're playing doubles, right? I mean, that's you can equate it the same way. So I took to it pretty quickly. And people were amazed, you know, they're like, "Oh, this is your first time playing?" I'm like, "Yeah, but I used to play tennis." They're like, "Oh, that explains it." But yeah, it's a fun game. It's a fast moving game. It's fun. But I haven't played in a while. I think COVID hit, and I don't think I played since COVID started, but I was playing for a bit. You know, the thing is, it's like for me, when I go to work out at the gym, I do it on my lunch hour from work. So I don't have all day to go wait to get, you know, to play. So, you know, if you're retired, you could sit there for 4 hours and you play a couple games and you wait around. But so most of the time I would want to play and I'd wait for a bit. Then I look at my watch and I'm like, well, I got to get back to work. I can't wait here any longer. Thanks, guys. You know, or maybe I'll get one round in or something. But they do it. There's a park near me here too that also does outdoors every now and then. There's like an outdoor hockey rink, and something during the summer months they set that up for pickleball, you know, when there's no hockey going on, obviously. So yeah, but fun game, not just for seniors, not just for seniors.
We've got a lot of younger kids, not kids, no kids are playing, but you know, in their 20s and 30s, and they whack the ball.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun.
But you know, with the pickleball and the judo and the rock thing, you guys are gonna have to make a trek up here one day and do the show from up here.
There you go. We'll have to do that. I'll put Chris Allen in the car and we'll head on up. Maybe
throw him in the car, make Catino come down, and then I'll drag Chuck.
There you go. Well, as East Coasters, right? There's plenty of us. So cool. So there you have it, everybody. Pagan's Mind. And if you missed it, catch the Circus Maximus episode that we just did prior to this one. They're both available here on the channel for you to watch. And always fun catching up with Jason and doing some ranking stuff. So visit us on the web at www.seaoftranquility.org. Check out our merch page below. Brand new Sea of Tranquility shirt.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, right. Pretty cool, right? Look at that.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. We got a new Monsters Den shirt too as well. So all sorts of new stuff happening down there. What else? Please subscribe if you haven't already and click on that notification bell so you don't miss any of these videos as we post. And stay tuned for tomorrow morning for the finale of albums that are 40 years old in 2022 as we say goodbye to 1982. And starting up on Tuesday, March 1st, we're moving to 1992. So albums that are 30 years old. And we also have tomorrow Hudson Valley Squares, Manowar going up against Raven, our final 1982 album battle. So that's happening tomorrow night. For Jason Morris, I am Pete Pardo. See you real soon here on the channel, everybody. Have a good rest of the weekend. Bye-bye.